You know when you're in trouble, when you're one of the largest players in the entertainment business and largest corporations in the world, and one of your crown jewels, the bright, shiny thing that you have been talking about that is going to become the next Game of Thrones out there, is being panned by mainstream shill media. I'm referring, of course, to Amazon Studios, The Wheel of Time, and Variety magazine. The article is written by Daniel Diodero, and it's from November 16th, 2021. Out of the gate in this article, the author admits that he has never read one book in the series. So, of course, obviously, what better person prepared to be a critic of this show, right? He's complaining about Rosamund Pike's Moiraine Damodred's exposition, hurriedly trying to cram in the severity and urgency of the entire story. An interesting twist in this Variety article, and I'm going to call bullshit on it. What the author literally says is, quote, "The result of the use of dialogue and voiceover like this may well please Jordan's hardcore fandom from the first, but it makes it very frustrating to watch for viewers who care less about whether the Wheel of Time outdoes Game of Thrones for spectacle than about whether the show they're watching is coherent and well crafted in its own terms." Yeah, I just said that sentence. That sounds like reverse psychology to me. What the hell is this Daniel Diodero talking about? I'm pretty sure no matter how many times I read that sentence is still not going to make any sense at all. That is, unless they're spending way too much time telling instead of showing what the story is. Now, a lot of this article is essentially bashing Wheel of Time for being almost indecipherable from this unread author's perspective and indistinguishable from Game of Thrones, Wheel of Time. What the hell difference does it make? Lord of the Rings, it's all the same to them. Now, I did an earlier video with Rafe Judkins. I was corrected by someone in the comments section. I'm going to take it on face value and say it is Rafe, not Rafe like I thought, although I like Rafi better. The review goes out of the way to call out Rafe Judkins for saying that he's written the show into various morasses, deep holes. Now, this criticism is based on the fact that the show seems to be nothing but a series of spectacles. Again, these are not my words. This is from the actual review in Variety magazine, that it's constantly moving forward toward some violent thing that's going to happen or just getting away from it. So much that as a viewer, at least this individual got numb to it. Oh, Ray, Variety is really not happy with you. I mean, listen to what they're saying. They're saying, this pacing perversely gives the show a pinched and narrow feeling universe with its focus limited to what peril lies directly ahead. And again, they're not happy with Rafe. Quote, "It's worth noting in a block to lend a sense of the flavor or flavorlessness of the writing here and its tendency to come in large, blunt chunks." Unquote. Wow. And finally, one more quote from the Variety article. "These characters' duties from the first is to a conflict greater than themselves, and it tends to blot out who they are. They're being told at the midpoint of the first season that what they want doesn't matter and should be sublimated to a greater cause. So where is there for them to go in the seasons ahead?" It's frustrating because I wish this Daniel Diodero guy had actually read the first book. You know, it's a great read, even just the first couple of chapters. Back to the Variety review, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. The last couple of sentences, I'll read these to you. And what it says is that if the Wheel of Time series on Amazon is to run even half as long as did Game of Thrones, then it needs to settle into itself and eventually do more than just feature the chase of the week. I'm not sure the reviewer was actually watching The Wheel of Time. I think somebody snuck in a Scooby-Doo episode DVD. Yeah, you remember that episode from Scooby-Doo where the gang was on the run from the Trollocs? Does what the mainstream shill media say from a critical perspective these days mean anything to me at all? No, not at all. And the reason why is over the last many years, we've watched these shill media sites doing everything they can to protect and enable studios from failure. Now, has something changed, as we saw recently with the evisceration of the Eternals movie from Marvel? It's too early to tell, but this Variety article pulls no punches. It's going to take a very long time and more than this for me to consider that any review of any movie or television show by a Twitter blue checkmark is anything more than a continuation of studio marketing itself. So let's hang tight and see what other reviews come out on Wheel of Time. Now, all of that said, Variety literally kicked the hell out of the Wheel of Time with that review. As ever, this is Salty Texas Sea. I'm Corey DB, and I appreciate you watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please consider giving me a subscription and/or a thumbs up. Have an awesome day.